Hi, I am Kadkhodapour giving a presentation about the book outline with the topic Quality Analysis of Additively Manufactured Metals. This book will be published by Elsevier hopefully in 2022, and it will be a collection of chapters from different authors and will be edited by me, Siegfried Schmauder, and Saeed Sajadi. If you're watching this video, perhaps you're a potential author of a chapter, and I would like to give you some very comprehensive information about what we are going to do and our project plan. So I will give you some information about book topic and target audiences, area of focus, overview of competitors, similar books in the market on the same topic, and available resources. I will give one good practice, an example, which would be a good model to continue, and a list of chapters and key information, and the method of contribution in the project. I hope this short video, hopefully in 15 minutes, give you useful information to decide if you want to contribute and if you have some topics which is possible to be presented in this book. So the book topic is on the additively manufactured metals. So the focus is on metals, different processes. Metal parts are produced by additive manufacturing, including laser, electron beam, extrusion methods, or powder-based methods. Then, after production, the second focus of the book is on the quality analysis of products. So it means that it talks about different methods, but in each of the methods, the focal point of the book is on quality analysis of the products. How is the quality, and what is the quality indicators? And when we are talking about the quality of product, we always have experimental findings, which is very broad, and different groups are working on that. And we are talking about simulation approaches, how they would become validated, and how they can be used for predictive quality control. And in all the chapters, in all the analysis, we are talking about process. How does the process lead to a microstructure, and how the microstructure will affect the property of the product? So these are the main topics covered in the book. So, and the target audiences, who will read the book? Who is the book is written for? The book is written for mainly, it is the first group, is the main group, means it is what was the focal point of the audiences of the book. It is for last year graduate and postgraduate students who want to gain knowledge about the additive manufacturing process. So it is for an engineer. So it is for a person who perhaps had the first experience with additive manufacturing in the labs, or know about it in the internet and so on, and want to get a little bit deeper information about this topic in the direction of quality. Second target group is researchers and specialists in the universities who are responsible for additive manufacturing lab, and want to guide people how to define activity and projects with additive manufacturing machines. Many of universities, many of colleges are buying different additive manufacturing machines or having a production center equipped with additive manufacturing machines. And these labs want to tell people how to work with the machine and how to define projects which could be used by products made by the additive manufacturing machines. So it is the second audience of the book. And the third audience is technical engineers who are using the additive manufacturing machines and would like to optimize the process for a better product. So the third group are not mainly in the universities, maybe they would be in the industry working with the machine. And they want to have an idea to design a process to optimize the product, one special product with additive manufacturing. When I talk about the first audience group, who are graduate students, last year graduate or postgraduate students, I expect that this book would be a source for a separate course on additive manufacturing, which is already delivered in different universities, including Stuttgart University, or it would be in the role of an existing course, for example, mechanics of material. So they have already the course for mechanics of material, and they want to have an additional part about additive manufacturing products and mechanics of materials made by additive manufacturing. So it is expected that this book would be a good material also for those courses, not mainly on additive manufacturing, but would be targeted into additive manufacturing, or the course fatigue and fracture in postgraduate students. And if we want to bring it into the topic of additive manufacturing, then this book or a part of this book should be useful for that. So, what is the area of focus of this book? I have 2 points when I talk about area of focus. The first point is novelty of information. The information would be novel. They include new findings. They would be at the edge of science and technology. When I talk about novelty of information, for some group of publication or some group of contents, it is data-dominated information. Very huge data dominated content about details of process, of course, a specific process. And the third case about novelty is that it is particular case studies which will introduce an industrial product. So by industrial product, I mean, for example, a special machine or a special post-processing or a special process monitoring or a special simulation tool. So you are giving a very unique case studies that shows an industrial product is functional. It is the first point, novelty, and the second point is learning about the subject. The first point was mainly about the contributors, means the people who are writing the chapters. The second point is about the audiences, and it is learning about the subject. They will, as a student, as a graduate student, they will learn something about the subject. They would have an overview about the subject. They would have a framework of analysis about available data. So the data is very much expanded, but they will have framework to analyze data which is presented. Perhaps they will have some exercise to get deeper inside, and there would be coherence of topics. So several topics come together and give the overview and give the framework of analysis. So these two lines, these 2 points, will not be satisfied simultaneously necessarily. So if we analyze these 2 points, there could be maximum novelty of information here, and there could be minimum novelty of information. On the other hand, there could be maximum learning about the subject or minimum learning about the subject. I believe that if there would be no novel information and there would be nothing to learn about in a book, there would be no book. But I will give you, when I cover the competitors and available resources, I will talk about the one example about a book for which the data is not so much novel, but it is very good for learning about the subject. Give a very good framework, very good main ideas about the subject. On the other hand, it is designed for 3D printing by Vernier. And on the other hand, I will give a presentation, give one slide about a book which present very good novel information by Kramer, but I believe that it is not so much good for learning or for learning of graduate students. What we want to do is to have a book, a source, which would give final year graduate student or postgraduate student a good learning about the subject. Also, we expect the information would not be out of date, but it should not be necessarily very novel data. So if I want to say we want the book to be a learning source, and the student could use it as a resource for their courses, but it should not be necessarily very up to date with data. Maximum novelty is not expected. Perhaps we begin from the information which may be more general, in which not to be so much novel. We come from those information to a little bit more recent data, and perhaps to make them familiar with novel information or with up-to-date information, we design some practices for the students. So this is the area of this book. I will give an example of how can it happen and how it could be achieved. So the first one is a competitor, and it is the book from Kramer, and it is on mechanics of advanced manufacturing, mechanics of additive and advanced manufacturing. And so it is a conference proceeding, and so like many books in the review process, many of reviewers told us that there are a lot of seminars, a lot of conferences, a lot of workshops about additive manufacturing, and a lot of content would be released. So this book has to have something else than what they have. And so for our book, the focus is that this would not be something like um, a pick from everything. So it should be coherent. And when you look at the content of the book, for example, in chapter 5, it is mechanical structure property relationship for 2D polymers. And in chapter 6, it is mechanical behavior of additively manufacturing TI6 AL4V. So from any area, there would be something. And it is not what we want to do, means it is not what is not expected in this book. And it needs to be more coherent, more deep data with the focus on learning. For sure, the information that is presented in this book, it is up to date, it is very good for the researchers or for the research community in additive manufacturing. But what we want to give, we want to present in our book is mainly some kind of learning material. So it was, if I want to say it was this one, I told you what is here. It was very novel information, but learning about the subject, I evaluated as it does not give a lot of information to learn about the subject.